Hi guys, well I'm going to be there in a minute. Hi there, this is John. I'm John and welcome to Frickin' Jeep. If you're new here, I'm a mess and get into a little bit of everything and usually screw half of it up. And if you're a regular here, you know that. So I'm trying to drill I think it's 29, or let me see, 49 64th hole. I need 4 of them in this back bumper on this Jeep, and I drilled one and it was a catastrophe. I've been working at this for probably close to 2 hours now, hour and 45 minutes. But you had a lot of setup to do, and you had to get this out, and you had to get your everything lined up, and I had to put a few things away. So here I am now to bring you guys along. Now let me tell you about this getting going and stuff. I'm going to tell you a story. I don't know whether it's a good story or a bad story. It's just a story. But you know, when you have, I can't get motivated to get outside and do anything. It's another cloudy, windy day, and just kind of crapo out and mud. Had a great time up at Brad's yesterday, but I spent more time on the Baltimore Beltway than I did at his place, which was not good, but it was doable. Anyhow, you know, when you got one dog out, you got, say, if you don't have animals, you might not be able to relate to this, but relate to probably how I feel. You know, you got an old dog out there, and he's watching your backyard, and a squirrel walks by. Well, when he was young, he'd have gone and chased that squirrel. Now that he's getting older, he watches that squirrel go by, then he watches another squirrel go by, and he watches another squirrel go by, and he goes, yeah, I'll chase him tomorrow. But if he had a buddy around, he'd probably say, they'd probably be talking to each other going, let's go get that squirrel. And the other one said, yeah, let's go get that squirrel. So if you had 2 animals, I used to have 2 hound dogs, and oh man, I tell you what, they would go after anything. There wasn't nothing they weren't going to go after and they weren't going to get. Well, I kind of, in the olden days, this is back in the 70s, I had a real good friend, and he was my buddy dog, and he kept me going. I could start a project, but I could never, you know, get to finishing it. And he was and he had a little less enthusiasm for starting projects, but he could finish them, and he'd make me finish them every time. Well, I miss that guy an awful lot, and that's one sometimes why I go down to Jeffrey's. Jeffrey will keep me going. He is a inspiration motivator, bumblebee in a wind tunnel chasing ping pong balls. I wish I had his energy level. I wish I had my little granddaughter's energy level, but I ain't got it, and I ain't got the enthusiasm to it. So that's where I'm at. And also, if you had one cat, he'd watch a mouse go by later on. But younger in life, he'd chase that mouse. And now it takes 2 or 3 of them before he even thinks about it. But if he had a buddy there, they'd be chasing them mice. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I got to drill this hole. I just drilled this one. Enough with the storytelling. But that's where I'm at. I'm having a hard time getting into this. This is what I did. I'm going to try to put this camera down, and hopefully we'll get one hole drilled, and it won't take now why won't this thing, it won't take that long to do it. I guess it'd be probably better back so you can kind of see the whole picture. I'm about ready to pull that mag drill up and set it on its next place, which is over here. Now, to start off with, I got to take, on the last one, I broke the tine off that drill bit. Now, I found my part, by the way, and it was right where I thought it was with the other drill bits. This is the pin that I want to see that goes through there. I'm going to make a pin to fit. I broke the tang off the top of the drill bit. Now, on Morse taper drill bits, they got this tang on there. Well, I sheared it off because when that bit in, it just took off. And it took a piece of steel out so big when it started to wind out before it broke that I had to that's why there's a grinder down there. You'll probably see it in some of this picture. And got to go up a little higher. And that's what you use to get these out with. But I don't need it on this particular one because that's the adapter that I couldn't find. So now I have to put this back up in there This is why you just don't drill a hole real quick. And then this has to go up in there. And then you kind of, I hate to tap it, but that'll hold it. Now I got to get a centering punch. I didn't like the last centering punch I had. It was about super dull. It had no bite left to it. But that's what I got here, so that's what I'll use. Now, take your round back for a minute. There are so many controls on this beast. Right now the magnet's on, so you can't, you can't shake it, but when that bit in, it shook it. So now you got to take the magnet off, okay, and slide it over to your next thing and find. Now remember, I think I said in one of them, I already pinned those. I forgot to undo that wing nut. So then you kind of you can't see that little spot, but I'm shooting for a little dot right there. So I just kind of tap this thing, and you're supposed to put the magnet on, but I don't, and my gibs are a little bit tight on this thing. Now that I'm going to close, I will press the button, which you can't see. I'll bring you over here. See, you press this button. Now the mag's on. You can't move it. But then you loosen this lever to zero it in. So that's what I'm going to do now. That tightens it to the place. That looks pretty close. Looks close enough for me. And I guess I'll put a dab of squirt on it just because it's here. Now I gotta get my eyeballs. I don't think I'm going pretty slow anyway. I'm in high speed. So now we're just gonna put a little divot in there. Undo that, hit on. Now even the on button, this is the on button up here, and that's if you want to go in reverse. This is a variable speed control, and this is the 2-speed gearbox here. Kind of a high-end drill. Alright, let's see what we can do here. I want to see what kind of speed I'm turning first. Let's turn it on. That's pretty good speed. That's good enough to get a start. And oh man, walking around your camera, get junk out of the way. That's just an old magnet. Now you just kind of go up, next step, next step, next step. This is what I used on the next step, as I recall. And I got to go all the way through to that bottom piece. And I think, like I said in the, I just did a short, so there's kind of a short. It's the short was more to get you over here. Now that you're here, you're kind of seeing what all I'm doing anyway. All right, let's see if we can't get a hole here all the way through. On. I'm doing. You can't see, but I'm looking in down through here to see what kind of chips I'm throwing. That was the gibs on this drill thing are a little tight, so it's hanging up there by itself. Most of the time it comes down by itself, to be honest with you. Now I think I'm going to go to, I think I went to this one as a matter of fact. I don't remember the order. I'll put them up here, so when I got the ones at the other side I got to do too. And I'm not trying to get big chips. I mean, this thing will throw some big chips, but I think that was the problem that I had when that big one bit in. I don't think I went to this one. I think that one's not. Yeah, it is kind of oily. I don't know whether it's one I've gone to. Anyhow, this is what it takes to. Must have drilled, I think I must have drilled that one, I don't know. It gets to a point where you don't remember what you do. But that's, you got to step up these for some reason, I don't know. I probably should go right from this one to the big one, but I do another 5/8. That's, I don't know what size that is. The trouble is, once it goes through, you can't, you're not oiling anything as much as you should. All right, let's go again. I think this is coming loose. Nope, it's not loose. It's got that much play in it. All right, and you just kind of work your way up to the King Kong one, and that's where everything went good on the first hole till I got to that big one. And that big one, this one's 5/8. If you're keeping track. Now I think I'll put the transmission down to slow. Where are we at here? Put some of this on there just for the heck of it. I'm gonna switch the transmission up here, whoop, to slow and see if we can get through this. I want to go slow, so go. Now I'm going to bring you back here a little bit because you might get in the way. I think you can see the whole shooting match. I don't know why that's turning so easy. Something ain't right. I think that's a little bit better. Probably should have you further back because you can't see everything that's going on. Of course, I can't see in the film to see what's going on. Oops, you're sitting on a wire. Now normally it doesn't take this long, except for when you're shooting a movie. Now this has got to come out. I gotta go up a little higher. Should have taken the drill bit out, but not always that smart. Never accused of being smart, guys. Remember that. Now here's where we got to go to this one here, and that's the problem. That the little tang is in there is gone. Now you're talking. You can get into serious size drill bits when you're getting into this. And this I gotta drill extremely slow because all it wants to do is screw in. That I probably should have drilled. I should probably have and it probably come loose. It's come loose a couple times. I should probably not drill this so close to this side is probably what some of the problem is. We'll put some juice on it. Let's see if we can do better than we did on the first go. The first go I broke that top off that drill bit, remember? And I gotta hold you can't see it, I gotta hold this I gotta hold the handle, which is up here, which you can't see. I gotta hold this so it doesn't just take and screw right in. That's what happened last time. And then when it finally bit hard, it actually moved that piece. I had to line it all back up again. So I'm going to try to go real slow and hope it don't screw in. Probably should go fast now that I think about it. Let me see. Where are we at here? Go. Well, I'm going to this speed. Is the hard part also. All right, that is drilled. 19 minutes into it, but I did tell a story at the beginning, so I'm going to undo the magnet and slide this out of the way. I don't think the wind's going to blow it over. I'm going to take my, move you over here for a second. Get some of this debris out of the way. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that could drill this and got a million suggestions, and by the time you give me that suggestion, this is already going to be done. So thank you for your suggestion. A few on the ground over here, we'll get them up so they don't get out, and I'm sure that there's a bunch in here. Yeah. Well, I didn't have a catastrophe nightmare like I did on the first one. That's probably enough. Might be some in the holes though. I guess I better do that one more time just for the heck of it. I wanted to have this bumper on, but this is a bumper ain't no quick thing. Ouch. I did get a steel sliver in my finger on that one. I have to get it out later. We'll clean up the slobber. Here's the pin. Look at that. Just like I showed you in another video, there's going to be just a hair of play in that. That one's hitting. No, it's hitting stuff underneath here. I think. Yeah, all sorts of chips. So it's just got just a little bit of play. I don't need it to get too tight. It's hitting on the table down there below if you didn't know. So that's about, ouch. That's about it, except for the sliver in my finger. Sooner or later you get slivers in your fingers. Now I gotta go get that out, and then I'm gonna go down the other side and do it 2 more times. And I'll probably paint this thing, put some paint on it tonight on the one side at least, and it's supposed to rain like heck. I might have to just bring it inside. If I paint it and the paint doesn't dry, then that's going to be a mess. So it's just question after question after question. Anyhow, if you like this kind of nonsense, drop a comment down there below, and see you at Back 40 Firewood. Or probably by the time this goes on, you've already seen it at Back 40 Firewood. I don't know what time I'll get this on, but I'm glad you came along. I got 2 more holes to drill, and then I'll be done with this piece, and it can get painted and put on the TookCat. We'll see you later now. Thanks for coming along. Bye-bye.